morning, folks. So sorry about that. We had a guest. That provided breakfast for you all. We will have a guest speaker, but I do not have the slide deck. We'll see if I can sneak over and try to figure out what went wrong technology wise. But it is May 13th. I cannot believe it. We got a few more folks coming. There's some burritos and some yogurt over there. So if you'd like some. Happy birthday. Yes, my birthday's here. Thank you so much for those folks that came to celebrate. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to this new decade. So happy birthday to all the May babies. We've got quite a few here. So hopefully you guys are all celebrating and doing your own fun things. We also have a lot of anniversaries, and I think, yeah, I'm probably one of the longest running members for Realty One Group. For those that don't know, I joined in 2008. You are? I don't think so. What year did you join with Realty One Group?
Right when we longer.
I'm 17 years, sweetheart. I was with Realty One Group in 2008 when there were only 200 members here in the state. It was a teeny tiny office in Scottsdale, very close to the McCormick Ranch office at Via de Ventura and Hayden. It closed down and moved over. Casey Siga was the managing broker. For those that don't know, I took a quick stint as broker back then because they asked me to open the office because Casey was on our board of Weimar, those of you that remember Weimar. And she conveniently had to be up in northern Arizona the week that they opened. So much fun opening a brand new office. You have no idea. Like, you know, your computers don't work, the printer doesn't work, everybody's wanting to move into their offices. It was so much fun. And back then, by the way, the managing broker did also all the TC work to review all the file, not the TC, but all the compliance work that I know you get tired of hearing from Cherie, but believe me, it's much better that Cherie is reviewing your files for all of the signatures and initials and all that fun stuff, because I had to do that in that week. So lots and lots of fun. So congratulations to all of you with anniversaries. Here we go with our $1 Million Club. A few more of you jumped into that last month, so congratulations. We had 18 agents that were in there. So we'll get to all of our numbers here, but does anybody remember at all last month how many lives we worked with and put into homes last year or helped sell homes? Does anybody remember? Lowest 100. So we helped 100 lives last month. And does anybody remember we're at 86 million this month, or, you know, in April? The month before, does anybody remember in March how much dollar volume went through this office? What did she say? No. It was only it was 61 million. So we increased by 25 million in 1 month, folks. So things did move last month. So pretty fun to see that. And welcome some of our new agents. I know we've got one online. Simon is online and Drew is here. Wave, say hi, Drew. So we're thrilled to have you both aboard. Let's see. I have a blank screen. Oh, there we go. How many of you saw this? Did you see this?
Yeah.
Well, one of our agents. So one of our agents is being very proactive. I got a list of 30 names of agents that they knew to reach out and contact, because I don't know how many of you realize this, but for those of you who do you know, do any of you know experienced agents? Because guess what?
No, we don't know.
No, you don't know anybody? They get their own bonus, right? You get this bonus, but they get a bonus because they get up to $1,000. Okay. That means that they actually do not pay any of their prorated fees to join on. There's no startup fee. They also get no monthly fees until January, and they will pay their August E&O. Come on in. And if they have listings, we will give $50 for each sign that they transfer over, that they need a sign for a current listing has to transfer. So it's up to $1,000. Most likely they'll use between $500 and $700 worth. So please be aware of that. So those of you that would like that free for life, and by the way, when I did start actually way back in 2008, that was the program that Realty One Group rolled out. If you referred 3 people, you did get free for life. And I can tell you, prior to becoming the managing broker, I had saved probably $5,000 to $6,000 because of that. Now I did bring 30 agents over with me. So I did bring a lot of folks and 2 brokers at that time as they were expanding. Long story, but this is a great opportunity for you. If any of you know other agents, pick up the phone, talk to them. We've got almost 3 weeks left in the month, right? 2+ weeks. Yes, ma'am.
Experience. I'll tell you.
Actually, we have to be able to find them on ARMLS and find their activity. If they're a commercial agent, we do have to see the transactions that they've done because we can't see that on ARMLS. But please take advantage of that. If any of you have some folks that they want me to contact, please get me the list. I'll be happy to pick up the phone. We can set up a Zoom call together with you if you'd like. But, you know, that 3 for free is free for life is pretty cool. So just want to make sure you know about that. Thank you to everybody that participated in our one day. That was a lot of fun. It was really amazing to be out there. How many of you have been to the place we went to? Somebody help me. Singleton's. It was incredible. It is for single parents with cancer. Now, either the parents may have cancer or a child may have cancer, but they provide food and necessities for the home, cleaning supplies. We saw snacks, and some of us helped deal with the garden outside, deal with painting a wall, putting things together. They had like 6 or 7 different stations for us to work in. It was incredible. They were so well organized.
Welcome cards.
Thank you cards and welcome cards. That was so sweet. Thank you. So it was amazing. And you could tell what we were doing was going to help somebody directly. So it was, I felt that was an awesome opportunity. So Melinda, I threw this up front just to make sure that people know about it. How many of you have a recent headshot? Recent headshot? Like within the last 2 years? So, you know, I love this story of Mark because he hit the $1 Million Club last year sometime, and we're like, Mark, we cannot use this photo. It's a beautiful photo of you, but he had his lovely mustache and lovely dark hair. We're like, yeah, that is definitely a lot more hair too. Yeah, it was definitely not a recent photo. So we did get him to take a photo. But please, if you have not gotten a recent photo, we encourage you to do that. What's the price?
$75.
$75.
5 edits.
And 5 edits. You can send the RSVP to Melinda so that you can participate in that.
I'm telling you guys, she's wonderful. If you have trouble posing and you don't feel comfortable, she's really good about helping you with your poses. So it'll be a fun time.
For those online, Melinda said that the photographer is very good helping you with your poses in case you're uncomfortable with that scenario. It can get a little unnerving if you're not used to posing for cameras, and it just, I get that, but she's really, really good. So, and please understand that is here in this building, but not in this office. It will be upstairs. Some of you may not know, but there's a space upstairs that's kind of a lounge, if you will, just down from Rock Title. So it will be in that suite. I think that's 215, something like that. So yeah, it's really easy to find. Just go up the stairs and just go down the hallway past Rock Title. Okay, so let's get to April numbers. Let's start with how many of you feel like the market is starting to move a little bit? Oh, only one of you. Well, I can tell you it is. I mean, we did $25 million for business out of this office, but it is a little bit of spurt here or there, right? It's not consistent yet. Because guess what hasn't changed yet, right? Interest rates, we're all waiting, okay? But that being said, you will see the sales price went down by $8,000. The solds, oh, you know what? I don't know that I changed those middle numbers. Let's hold on to that. I've got it here in my thing. So the sales price went down $40,000. That's why I know I didn't change that. The solds actually went up about 350, so they did go up just a little bit. The under contract and pending went down 400. I'm not really worried about that with a amount of 7,000 units sold. That's a good number of units, and we still had 7,000 under contract. It just wasn't quite as robust as the month before. The days on market shifted only down by 2, and the active isn't coming soon, which is an interesting dilemma. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually went up by 869. So everybody's looking at that huge number right here, right? 26,000. I looked into that because what just happened in our ARMLS? Sedona. So nobody is accounting for that fact that we have a whole other MLS that just joined with us. Okay, so if I go to Maricopa, the shift from Maricopa last month was 19,486 to this month at 20,395 for Maricopa only. It's only a shift of 800 units, folks. Yes, everybody's talking about the 26,000. You see it in the Cromford report. You see it everywhere. Oh my gosh, highest number. And I'll show you this in just a minute. Yes, it's the highest number, but nobody's accounting that there's another MLS in there. Now, I probably could have done Maricopa and Pinal just to see whether that was a little more realistic, but really we're up by only 800 units. That's not as bad as that number makes it seem. Okay, I mean, seriously, right? It's May. We normally have more listings at this time of year. That's traditional, right? We're heading into our summer season. How many of you know when parents want to move into new homes?
After the kids get out of school.
After the kids get out of school and before school starts. Does anybody know when Scottsdale and PV school districts start school next year? First week of August, right? So people want to be in their homes in July. Okay, so we will see. Nobody wants to move at that time of the year, right? But we will see an increase in listings between now and the middle of June. That's normal, right? That is not this number of 26,000. So please, if you're talking to people, look at your area. Don't look at this generalized number. This is almost like saying, yeah, Arizona is doing this. Really, Arizona is a big state. Like, right? What are we doing here? Zoom into your area and talk about what is happening. I talked to one agent. He said, yeah, there are no listings in the neighborhood. Like, okay, that's great. That's fantastic. You're about to list a home. They said, yeah, but if you look, like, you know, the neighborhood's this little 100 units. If you look outside of it, there are 14 listings. Like, okay, you can't say there are no listings then, right? Because somebody looking isn't just looking at that postage stamp. They're looking in the area. What are they considering in the area? Now you're up against 14. Where does your home sit against those other 14 listings? Right? Because you have to look at that. Are you coming in at the bottom? Are you coming in at the very top? Are you coming in somewhere in between? How long have they been sitting on the market? Oh yeah, nothing's been less than 100 days. Well, okay, that's great. You're going on. Is your home ready? The flooring done? The kitchen remodeled? The painting done? Does it smell good? Because guess what? If you aren't ready to be on the market, then you're going to sit for 90 days too, right? So please talk to your sellers. Really encourage them to work on that. Okay, let me go to the next slide so we can look at some of these. So the top one, those are the correct numbers from between March to April, right? The blue are the March numbers, and then obviously these are the April, so you're seeing the up and down. kind of talked a little bit about that, Maricopa County, okay? So Maricopa County actives, 20,395. If I look in all of the ARMLS, remember the ARMLS said 26,481. Big difference when you're looking at just Maricopa County, right? Please keep that in mind. Now, of course, if you're working down in Maricopa or Casa Grande, go ahead and pull Pinal. Look at what's going on in Pinal County. Does anybody have an estimate of how many homes have been projected to be built in Maricopa in the next 2 years? Has anybody heard this? 70,000 homes. So if you don't mind a little drive and want to learn that area, it is an active area, huge incentives for the new builds. Guess what's having trouble selling? Resales, right? The 10 and 15-year-old homes that the homeowners feel like they should be getting the same amount as the new builds. Only their home is 10 years worn and not updated, not with all the bells and whistles. They're not moving very quickly and they're not selling for the price that they want them for. So, all right, let's get to Maricopa though. So, active single family, we had 15,062. That was an increase of 690, right? So single family, you're talking 700 unit increase, not a huge increase for May. That is not concerning me. If that had been a 5,000 unit increase, that would be worrying me, right? But 700 units, that's not a big deal. UCB and pending down 79. We're at 5,776. Again, these are single family numbers here. So I'm in the side over there, single family, right? You see that? And then coming soon, 534. So it dropped 100. We will talk about Zillow, so hang in there. Sold up 100 units. That's a positive for April, right? We want to start seeing that increase in sold units. Typical slow increase April, May, and then we go up June, July, and then we start cascading back down, right? So we'll see if interest rates drop though, we know that'll continue to go up. All right, 10-mile radius. Actives, all types of actives, 4,965, up 348, right? Single family up 229, we're at 2,807 in this 10-mile radius. UCB pending down just a tad, 115, and single family down just 25. Coming soon, 33 down, 184 to 217. I'm going to bet that's due to the Zillow question. But the other thing is, remember, when I'm pulling this, it's only pulling on the date I'm pulling it, right? So coming soon could be on 3 days and then off 4 days on, so you never quite know on the coming soon. It's kind of a random number on this chart. It's only based on the day I'm pulling it. Sold, we had 24 more sold. Single family, we were down 1. Okay. So not that overwhelming. So not a big worry. Any concerns here from you guys seeing the numbers, right? A little more comfort in here. People are still looking skittish. Like it's not 26,000 units out there. That should make you feel more comfortable. It is not this massive, there are so many listings. All right. Let me show you active listings by month. Now, remember, this is all of ARMLS, right? And look at this number. We finally filled in our little box down here, 26,852. They're using that big, huge number, right? And yes, if we were using that number, that takes it all the way back to February of 2014. How many of you were in real estate in February of 2014? Wow, most of this room. Awesome. Okay. Totally different time, right? Totally different time. We were at the bottom of all of that inventory from foreclosures and short sales and all of the mess with the banks, right? Are we sitting at that time? Are these homes occupied versus vacant? Occupied, right? How many of them are you having to schedule around people, right? Except for our Canadians that have left. I get that. We do have some of those that are vacant. But other than the short-term rentals that are out there that might be getting sold off, a lot of these homes are occupied. Yes,
I can tell you, that's contrary to what I've been showing in South and South. Every single home was vacant.
okay, anybody else showing mostly vacant homes or occupied?
I felt, for me recently about.
That's what I had seen, but I'm not showing that many homes.
Mostly new.
Or new builds, right? If you're going around. So, but again, it's not like it was, Joni. My point is, in 2014, literally you would go down a street and a street would have 7 of 20 homes vacant. Nobody'd been there for months, if not a year or two, right? Totally different scenario where people had literally left the homes and walked away. These homes, people are trying to sell these homes. Whether they're still living there or they may have moved out already, but for the most part, they're still actively involved in these homes. They're not foreclosures, they're not short sales. Now, we are starting to see some of those, don't take that wrong. We are starting to see some of those because of people that bought when? When? 22, 21 and 22, top of the market, right? And then the market stalled out a little bit. And the problem is it's too short of a distance. You're talking 2, 3, you're not 5 years out, 6 years out. So trying to cover these closing costs that the buyers want and the sales commissions, right? Both for buyer and seller, selling agents, there's not enough equity to do that if they only put 5 or 10% down. Right? So it's not these huge, massive short sales. Now, how many in here have done short sales before? Okay, so just a handful of us, right? But I am starting to see people say, hey, I'm going to go show a home. It says it's a short sale. What should I know? I'm like, okay, start by reading the short sale advisory. Even if you're representing the buyer, if you've never done a short sale, you need to read that. Because what is the biggest difference between 2014 short sales and today? Does anybody have a guess? Does anybody remember an incentive for the short sale? The sellers? Nobody? Cash for keys. No, that's not what I'm thinking about. What happens on a short sale?
The difference, upside down, they waived that.
They waived the tax penalties in 2014. So somebody selling a short sale today, please, if you are taking that listing, make sure they talk to their tax person because they are going to get a 1099. Whoever's online with their mic open, can you shut it? Unless you wanted to say something, you're welcome to say something, but I don't know how to get to that. So
Yep, I'm gonna get it.
okay, I don't know if I can get to this.
It's relevant. Sure.
See who else is mute here. Hope that's all I need to do. Let's go back to that. All right. So the big thing is on the taxes, right? So if you're upside down by $50,000 and the bank says, okay, we'll let you sell, we'll cover the $50,000. You as the seller are now incurring a gift of $50,000 that you pay income taxes on. Okay. So please, please don't be a tax person. Send them to an accountant. That may or may not be the best move for them. Okay. I'm not going to judge that. I have no idea their tax situation. It may be beneficial or not, but they need to talk to somebody about it. So just want to make sure you know that. Now, again, if we're talking 20,000 instead of this 26, right? I mean, you're talking totally different years here where you're at 20,000. You're at 2016, 2017. So again, please look at those numbers because I don't believe this is really where you need to be focusing. Yeah.
So, did the donut come in? Was it January or?
No, I think it's right here.
15th? Okay, so February.
So
Somewhere, and so it was 23. Went down to like.
I think it was, you said it's really February?
Do find the email for it a minute ago to see it. February 13th, but congratulations, today you can look up.
Okay. So then it came in here. So yeah, we actually dropped. So I don't know. This could just be that we have a lot of, stuff from the rest of, there has been a lot of stuff from the rest of the state that does filter in. That's why I've always pulled it down to Maricopa County. So I'm like, it doesn't make sense to look at what is selling in Prescott or Tucson just because somebody listed it in our ARMLS, right? And that frequently happens. All right, so let's get to the stats here. Whoops. Well, we'll move me out of the way there. So this month, right here, gosh, I'm sorry, this thing is in the way. I'll go to the side. So the sales price went down only $5,000. It decreased by 5. Get that out of the way there. So single family homes, again, not all homes, but just single family. That's what I run this stat on. So 515, it was down by 5,000. The list price increased by $2,000. None of these numbers are huge shifts, right? And the housing supply just decreased by 1/3 of a month. Like, okay, right? I mean, you would think that the housing supply would have increased by, a month or a month and a half at this point, because everybody's talking about nothing selling, nothing selling. We'd sell 7,000 units sell last month. That's not nothing selling, okay? So this next one just kind of compares month over month over month, so you can see that. And the numbers I usually look at are these 3 numbers down here, not the top one, because it's kind of hard over a 3-month period to look at that top number. Okay, so let me move out of the way here for those of you taking that photo. So around the office, everything decreased by a little bit. The median sales price decreased to $725. The median list price decreased to $889. It was $899. $10,000, $10,000, and the housing supply decreased, it says, by 1 month, which I think is pretty crazy, actually. So those are all good things for this area, that those things have decreased a little bit. Obviously, we want more sales, but none of those are huge shifts again. All right. So that's just showing you the shift of that. Zillow update. How many of you have had a new listing in the MLS this month? When did you list yours?
2 days ago?
Okay. Did you do coming soon?
No.
No. Julie?
No, mine was just 11 days ago, like very beginning of the month. I did not do.
Okay. So we had an agent in this office. Thank you for putting a listing coming soon on May 1st. Had no idea about the Zillow stuff, right? And went to active on May 9th. So in ARMLS, it shows it went active on May 9th. And guess what? On Zillow, it's showing it's been in the market for 6 days. I am not quite sure how they got that number, but it's on the market for 6 days. So that's not May 9th, nor is it May 1st. So that's what's puzzling to me. I don't quite know how they got that weird number. I pulled that last night. Well, I pulled that this morning, literally. It says the last time it was updated was May 9th, which was the date we know it went active. But again, the 13th to 6th. So, but the point is, it is on Zillow.
And I thought it wasn't supposed to be, right?
So what I heard, and I'm waiting because I don't want to be the one that's promoting this, but what I was told was, if you noticed, NAR is rolling out this new rule, right? I talked about it last month. This new rule is for MLSs across the country to create a coming soon version like what we have. We already have that. We've had it for several years. So the rumor is that when the Arizona Regional MLS created that rule, they worked with Zillow on making that rule comply, and Zillow was fine with it. Pre-existing rule with Zillow seems to be trumping this new rule. Now, what I didn't know was Zillow going to still abide by whatever this rule is? And I asked to try and get ARMLS to give us some type of notice that says, yes, in fact, but we went ahead and tested. Well, we didn't test it. One of our agents had no idea when they went coming soon. about the rule. So as soon as it went live, I said, please check Zillow. And it's there. So right now, I'm still shrugging my shoulders. I'm not quite sure. I'd still like ARMLS to actually talk to us because I think that that would be useful and beneficial for us. But I just wanted you to know that that is the update. If any of you have any other listings that went coming soon this month, or you're doing a coming soon, let me know. We'd love to see what happens. I would bet the slight adjustment with coming soon might have to do with a little bit of that. I'm betting most agents were clueless and had no idea of that at all. Cause you know, unless you were in my meeting, most of my office had no clue that that was happening. I mean, we put it out in our newsletters and stuff, but you'd be surprised how many people don't read my newsletter. So it's just saying, okay. All right. Rev ups. Now, I know many of you are agents that have been in the business a long time. Those of you that are new agents, I cannot stress more how important it is to get the basics done. And if some of you that are experienced want to just revisit these, I encourage you to do our Rev Up series. For those agents joining one of our franchisees, it costs those agents $250 for the same content being taught by our corporate trainers versus this being taught locally by our Arizona brokers. Okay, these are normally not recorded. On occasion, you will get Leah's that is recorded. Right now, she's off enjoying her birthday month in Thailand. So she's not here, but I don't know if somebody may be teaching that class instead of her. But at any rate, most of these are not recorded. I adjust mine on branding and farming to the people that are in the meeting. The last time I had literally 2 absolutely green agents. They had been active for 3 days and 5 days. So I changed my focus to make sure they knew the first steps, not the 50th steps, right? So we talked about the basics and really help make sure they knew where they could pull their data from our website and get those tools they needed. But most of us adjust for who is sitting into that in those classes. So please take advantage of that. Look, I have another reminder of the photo shoot. And back in the back, wait. Oh, he's in his office. We'll get him later. So he is back there. So we do have Mike teaching the Sphere workshop on May 19th. And I think at this point, I'm going to switch over to Reminder Media. I do not have.
I just emailed the presentation thing, so if you want to.
I'll try this again. Hold on, folks. Let me get out of here and see if I can jump out of here.
Did we already send you some samples of some of the stuff? Okay, cool. I'll have those things out. Yeah, if you guys want my copy, I don't have enough for everybody, but yeah.
Okay, so I do not see anything.
It might have gone to promotions. Sometimes mine do.
Oh,
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
there it is. Slide deck. All right, hopefully. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna leave this off to, come on, you gotta come on this side so you can
Yeah.
see. You're gonna be a lot taller than me.
This is one of our ones for, I think, our other. Do you mind going back to that email one more time? Okay, go back to your inbox and see if you can pull up the one from me. Go back to promotions.
That was the one from you.
Oh, was it up at the top?
Oh, nope, there we
Okay,
go.
cool.
All right. Let's try that. So I'm just gonna leave this over here.
Yeah,
So you
that's
can
totally-
see
yep.
that you're in there. All right.
Perfect.
So I'll let you do that. I'm gonna pull this up for you.
Yeah.
Do that.
Perfect. Awesome, guys. Hello, my name is Hayden. I am curious before I start how familiar the room is with Reminder Media. Okay, I see one hand. Are you already working with us or just kind of seen us before? Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm gonna go through super brief history of Reminder Media, why we do what we do, how we do it, and try and keep this super efficient for you guys. So, Reminder Media, we've been in business for 20 years. We have right around 35 or 36,000 real estate agents working with us right now. Obviously, don't say any of that to brag. I say it to say you're not working with some random startup when you work with us. I have two stats that I think are really important for every real estate agent to know, and it's also kind of the premise for why we do what we do. The first one, probably super intuitive for all of you. 81% of home sellers last year only interviewed one real estate agent before deciding who they were going to work with. To me, it's just like mind blowing to see that that's the extent to which if you are not top of mind, you are losing out on business. Along those same lines, 65% of sellers found their agent through referral. We can all agree referrals are king. We all want more referrals. And that is a big part about what Reminder Media focuses on. Now I'm gonna get into the magazines that I brought. I wanted to touch on one last thing before I do that. And I think it's something that really makes us pretty unique as a marketing company. We also run our own real estate team that we basically use to guinea pig everything that we do. So I'm not just sitting here telling you, trust me, guys, this thing works. I actually have proof of concept. So last year, our team is based out of Lynchburg, Virginia, so obviously a different market. But last year, with only 5 producing agents, we did over 260 transactions. Over half of those deals came from referrals. We ended the year as the #1 team in Lynchburg, Virginia, and the #4 team in the entire state of Virginia with only those 5 agents. Obviously, as a high producing team, we do a ton of marketing, but really there is only one thing that we consistently send out to our database to stay top of mind and bring in referrals. And that obviously is our branded magazines. Now, if anyone in here is thinking, Hayden, it's 2025, you're talking to us about a magazine. I understand any kind of initial hesitation, but here's what I'd tell you. Currently, with some of the changes and additions that we've made, we're averaging right around a 30% referral percentage. That means even just going to 50 people, we expect about 15 referrals coming through the door for you over the course of the year. So I don't know. In terms of like your main points of customization, what you get, obviously, you're right there on the front cover, photo, logo, contact information. So it's abundantly clear who this is coming from. Now, my favorite spot for anybody that has the magazine in hand, inside of the front cover, there's a letter that's addressed to the individual person that we're mailing these to. So bottom line, when you get it, it feels more like a gift and less like marketing. So instead of going in the trash where we all put marketing, this is something that they actually keep around. We're averaging about a 6-week shelf life in the home. 6 weeks at a time, they're probably thinking about the agent that's sitting right there on their coffee table when they think about real estate. Content-wise, you can basically think HGTV meets Food Network. It's kind of a cheesy way to describe it, but that's basically the gist of it. DIY projects, home improvement tips, recipes. That's kind of like the main type of stuff that we're putting together. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys, the 2 other main points of customization. Inside, you get 2 of these tear-out cards. Oftentimes, agents just have them default to a recipe card with your information on the other side. We can also do a referral card or maybe an ad space for your preferred lender. We can get pretty creative with it. And same thing for the back cover. Inside and out of the back cover are 2 blank pages that we can do literally anything you want with. Testimonials from past clients, a just sold or featured listing. We can do partner up with maybe your preferred lender on the back and have them pitch in for the cost, obviously. But that really is the magazine in a nutshell. 2 main strategies that we're employing kind of side by side with obviously sending this to your sphere of influence to get referrals. One, I don't have an example on the front cover of this one, but it is on the back. We're putting QR codes together for agents. No additional cost, having it say, hey, scan this to see what your home is worth. When people scan it, they get taken to a CMA landing page that we build for you, no additional charge. You get notified on the back end with all of their contact information. So it's a way for us to get people raising their hand looking for real estate related conversations. Our real estate team is averaging right around a 10 to 20% scan rate, depending on the mailing and the time of year. So again, even if you only sent out 50, that's 5 to 10 people raising their hand looking for that conversation. Outside of that, if you do want to have some sent to you directly to have on hand, we love. Oh, sorry. If you want to have some directly sent to you, I love the idea of using these at your open houses. Obviously, if they're going to your open house, they're probably going to like 2 or 3 others that same weekend. So we want something that's differentiating you versus the other agents that they interact with. Aside from that, the one other thing that I really like the idea of is having some of these to put into local offices, doctors, dentists, attorneys' offices. These are high traffic areas where, one, we can get eyes on you, but also when you couple that with the QR code, it's new people raising their hand to be put into your database. So those are like some of the main strategies we're implementing side by side with the magazine. Obviously, pricing is a big question that we get, of course. That's kind of like the next natural thing to talk about, but I want to pause there really quick. Do we have any questions in the room or on the Zoom about the magazine, anything? Yeah.
Since I've done this in the past, I have a couple questions about, so you said you have the option to get your own individual copies that you can use in open houses. and
Yeah.
Distribute. Is there a minimum number of individual copies that you have to have?
So the minimum order overall is 50. You still have to meet that regardless. So you'd have to meet the minimum order of just 50, but then you can have copies sent to you.
Or whoever I want to send it
Yeah.
to. And let's say I wanted 5 additional. I
Yeah,
can do
yeah,
that.
you can have like 5 or 10 or 15 or whatever sent to you. Okay.
My closet in my.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I. like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yep.
They were great, but.
Right.
it's Too many.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then my other question, and this may be over the head of somebody that isn't familiar, what percentage of agents using this are using the Good to Be Home versus the American Lifestyle?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Agents that signed up with us like 10, 15 years ago, a lot of the time they just kind of let this thing roll on autopilot. So a lot of them are still on American Lifestyle. I can't tell you like off the top of my head the exact percentage. I would say the vast majority of new people working with us are working with the Good to Be Home. Mostly sending Good to Be Home. Yeah.
So
No, definitely not phasing it out. It's just we wanted to have different content options. So we have the Good to Be Home. It's just more HGTV and home style related. Yeah. It is.
tell me, oh, we're traveling, and we made sure we went to.
Had the travel article. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And you can mix and match now too, which is nice. So you can send 30 Good to Be Home and 30 American Lifestyle in a mailing. So you don't have to send all of one edition. Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions from anybody else?
I do.
Yeah.
You can personalize the inside of each magazine, right?
Do you mean the articles? Or like,
Not the article, the letter.
oh, the letter? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so
100 magazines, you do 100 different.
exactly. Yep.
Oh, I thought.
No.
Personalize it, but it's gonna go to everybody.
No, you can have it like that letter can literally be like happy anniversary, love you guys so much, like whatever. Like it can be customized all the way down to the individual person.
The magazine, like all the content that comes out, say every month. It's
Yeah.
the same content for.
Yeah, exactly. So to keep cost as low as possible, we basically print the guts of the magazine. You'll get those different content options to choose from to where you can choose the focus, but then we deal with the individual articles for you. So it's not something you have to worry about. And then your points of customization, back cover, if you want something hyper focused on like the local area, we can absolutely put something together. I have agents that will like write an article, do a local market analysis and put that on the back cover. So we can still save points to be tailored to the area. Yeah, no. Certain agents are. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and we'll get into numbers, but just to kind of tease it, like if you did like that one has an example of 4 squares, like 4 different ad spaces. If you got 4 vendors to hop in and co-brand with you, you would only have to charge them like $50 a pop and it covers your entire mailing. So it's super inexpensive, especially if you get some people to pitch in for it. Any other questions before I jump into numbers? So we have every other month, we have fresh content coming out. Sorry, I don't know who asked that question. Oh, okay. Every other month we have content coming out. So I'd say the majority of people working with us send it out every other month. We have quarterly options as well, if that fits better based on you and your marketing and whatnot. I think my favorite part about working with us though, is the first mailing you do with us is a no commitment trial mailing. So you'll pay for the magazines, but you're not locked into a long-term contract until you try it out, you get some feedback, and you let us prove to you that this is going to make sense to send out long term. I'm gonna jump into pricing now. I'm not just gonna run outside as soon as I go over pricing, so we can ask more questions too after we go through pricing. Yeah, exactly. So I think I'll impress you guys though, because it's gonna be less than whatever you spent on a Mother's Day card at Walmart. It's only $4.99 per magazine, which includes shipping cost. So I will mail it directly to your people for you, no additional charge. The minimum order is only 50. So that comes out to $249 to send out those 50 copies. You do not pay that up front. You pay that down the road once everything is put together and you love what you see and you're like, okay, Hayden, let's do this thing now. That's when you pay for them. Now, normally we have a one-time activation fee of $299. The reason that sounds kind of expensive is because we assign a marketing assistant to you from my company that's going to do literally everything for you. They set up the magazine for you. They go over everything, make it look exactly how you want. And then one thing that I also really like is they'll talk strategy with you. Because obviously we're not going to set this up the same way for a brand new agent that we would for somebody who's been in real estate for 20 years. We want to set up the strategy that's going to bring the best return on investment for you specifically. So that really is the idea. It's normally $299. As a thank you for having us out, we're reducing that to just $99 up front. So it's only $99 to get started. Again, just to reiterate, it is a no commitment, one-time trial mailing to basically give us the opportunity to prove to you that this is going to make sense to continue working with us on. I have just a couple other things that I'll touch on, but I do want to open it up one last time to questions after hearing pricing. Yeah.
So the cost per recipient, the 50 magazine minimum, is that applicable for the bi-monthly program and the quarterly program?
That's a really good question. So quarterly pricing will change very slightly. $249.50 is your every other month pricing for 50 magazines. It's $4.99 per. If you prefer quarterly, that is totally fine. It would just increase the cost per magazine by about 50 cents per copy, meaning 50 magazines quarterly would come out to $274.50. So still, I mean, not breaking the bank by any means to go quarterly. It's just a matter of preference at this point. But yeah, great question. Appreciate that. Yeah. Anything else for you guys?
How long, you know, after they decide after first trial period that they want to do it, what is it?
Yeah, so if you do the trial mailing, you love it, you want to keep working with us, we ask for a 1 year long commitment after that. So if you do quarterly, that's only 3 more mailings. If you do every other month, it's only 5 more mailings. We include the trial mailing in that year if you move forward. So not some crazy commitment by any means. It's only a couple more mailings after that, but it really gives you the full picture of, hey, sending this consistently, now I know what I can get from this. And am I going to keep doing it after the year? Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
And you're gonna stick around, right?
I am going to stick around. I'll stick around until after this.
You get all up front or free?
No, you get billed as you mail. Yep. So it's just as it goes. My last thing before I go, I have 2 last things. At Reminder Media, we always like to incentivize action. So here's 2 last things I'm gonna throw out to you. First, anybody that scans that QR code, it's gonna put you into my system. It's basically gonna claim the deal for you. I'll follow up with you and obviously go over details. Anybody that wants to just finish signing up here today that's in the office, I'll wait until after the meeting's over and we can talk. Anybody that signs up either today or tomorrow with me, I'm going to throw in an additional 15 free magazines onto your account. That comes out to about a $75 credit for you.
Make it 20.
Make it 20, she said. All right, I'll do you one better. I know I'm in a room of real estate agents. Somebody's gonna start trying to bargain. Yeah, exactly. Anybody that is even a 5 out of 10, I want to give you the opportunity to claim this deal and not be like fully locked in committed to this. So here's what I mean by that. If you scan that QR code, you sign up with me either today or tomorrow, that $99 initial investment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that fully risk-free and refundable. So you don't even have to tell me, Hayden, I am 1000% doing this. I just need the opportunity to connect you with one of my marketing assistants, have them build your magazine and show you exactly what would go out. If you're in love with what you see, move forward and print. If you hate it, I don't think that'd be the case, but if you hate it, no questions asked, I'm going to refund the $99 like it never even happened. But that is everything, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to stick around and wait until after the meeting's over. And one last question.
The 15
I'll try my best. Yeah. That is for the first mailing. Yeah, that is for the first mailing. Yeah. And for you, sorry, what was your name?
Yeah.
Deborah, just so you know, as a past client, there's a little bit, something extra that I'll be able to talk to you about. So yeah, absolutely.
But I still have a copy of every single magazine I have sent out. I kept it like a couple of these. I ended up
Yeah.
having to dump them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I like will go through, this is so crazy. If you, I'm gonna give you a suggestion. If you could like have somewhere where I could have gone, hey, are there any articles about Nashville? Or are there any articles like?
Yeah,
Cause I made my own
Index.
little list.
totally.
That's how crazy. 'Cause I'm like, then I would customize it like, oh, this person needs to hear about this or this.
For sure.
Like that, but the quality and the convenience really are awesome.
Yeah,
And some people read, some people don't, you can't control that, but I did have clients, like, I had clients send me pictures of the recipe they've made,
that's
stuff
awesome.
like that.
Yeah.
So.
You know, I feel like there's very few things in the marketing world where you're gonna get people texting you a picture of what you sent them and or like posting it on their Instagram or whatever and like actually being happy to receive something from you. It's one of those things.
I mean, I loved it, and I'll let's see what you.
Yeah.
All right.
Not to take much from here, but I just want to say that, I would recommend, because if I do this again, I will do it, is still making an excuse to call your people, making an excuse when they get the magazine. to call them,
Absolutely.
Call them, because I don't think it's as effective if you just mail it out and they.
Yep.
still are here.
Yep.
So.
Use it as an excuse, get the referrals. It's gonna work passively, but if you go after it and get referrals from people, that's where that 30% referral percentage is really gonna come from. So appreciate you guys. I know I took more time than I was supposed to.
For breakfast, they provided breakfast this morning and
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, guys, of course.
Go get yourself some.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the time, guys.
All right, he's sticking around, don't worry. All right, I gotta get back to my other screen. Let's see. Okay, if somebody online can make sure and tell me that they are actually seeing the photo shoot, and Mike just stepped in here, so Mike's over there. Can you see it?
Yep.
Thank you. So Mike is over here and we just want to make sure everybody knows that he is offering, and this is not going to be on Zoom. I want to make sure everybody knows that. This is going to be a Sphere workshop, kind of jumping on top of what Deborah is talking about. When you are working with this Sphere, you're mailing these things out, but how do you then end up connecting with them? It's not enough to just send this stuff and let it be passive. You need to know how to build those relationships with those. And that is what Mike is going to talk about. That's why it's not going to be on Zoom. It needs to be a more controlled environment that you can actually have that conversation and discuss how to build this and look at your sphere. How many of you, if I asked, feel like they have a sphere that they work with, that they actually have a CRM or even just an Excel file, but that they actually work that file? That is amazing. That is incredible, quite honestly. And look, one of our top producers over here kept his hands crossed. You really don't work your, you do too. Oh, okay, it was just short. I was like, wait a minute. All right. I was like, wait, how is that possible? I know Mark is out talking to his sphere. So, but seriously.
Today.
Get that. Yeah, there you go. All right. So let's get to, we've got a lot of stuff that we are blessed with by working with one of our partners here, Rock Title, with their Rock University. For those that have not and are not taking advantage of this, they are bringing in every month. There are always 3 presenters. They are from outside our network. They're bringing other people in to provide you content. This is all free, folks. So please take advantage of this. How many of you are using AI in some way, shape, or form? Can I see hands here? Yeah, that's what I thought. So, by the way, if you talk to my daughter, she will tell you AI is horrible. Gotta love a college student with passion, right? And her reasoning is not wrong. She's actually correct. Her frustration is with the content having become original content and modifying creativity. Okay, so her issue is with creativity. AI originally was designed to help us search data that is out there and grab something that we're missing, right? And now it's being morphed into the creative side, which I do agree with my daughter is not right. And I'm talking about content like your photos being modified, songs being modified, all of that music being modified, right? The creative aspects out there. But as an agent, you can use it for so many things to help you be more concise in your communications, to be more direct, to be able to connect with people when they ask you questions, to find answers quickly. For those that are using ChatGPT, go throw the ARMLS policies and procedures into your ChatGPT. And if you have a question, guess what? Ask that little ChatGPT with that, where you threw that data, and they'll be able to get you your answer pretty quickly, which is kind of cool. AI, how to scale your real estate business smarter, using AI to scale your business. Again, you got to be able to have that database. You got to have your sphere that you're working on. But now, how can you use it to work smarter, not harder? And then on February 21st, Jane is coming back to speak about your peak zones, training like a top performer in real estate, not in the gym, but in real estate, right? How do you really move your time and energy to better your business rather than just twiddling your thumbs waiting for some reaction? Okay, so please take advantage of these. There was one already last week that we missed.
If you want to see it, I have the video and I can email it.
It should be on the whole video, Rock University videos, so you can grab that. You're welcome to reach out to Melinda as well. Tuesday, I just want to remind you, there will not be a Tuesday training and tactics on May 20th, because that's the day after Memorial Day. Never been very successful after a holiday. I'm sorry, not May 20th, 29th, 27th, sorry. I have two 20s up there. This is hard to see. Sorry, May 20th. Yes, there will be one. Thank you, Mike. He's like, wait, that's wrong. May 20th. Yes. And I will probably be talking about how I create those, look at the detail in the data that I use for these meetings. So you can see how to do the 1003 or 1004 search yourself, the FHA. But the reason for that is I'd like you to learn how to look into your neighborhoods and create your own area that you want to watch. One of the things I tell our brand new agents, and we've got a couple here that I talked to, and I said, look, in my branding class, I'm like, go find an area. If you are brand new to real estate, you need to be able to speak from an area you know. And if you're not following your own neighborhood, you should be. Right? And if something new comes up in your neighborhood, go look at it, because then you can speak to what you can actually talk about. Well, you know what? In my neighborhood last week, there were 15 listings, but this morning I noticed 4 of those were sold. How much stronger does that sound than, well, you know, in Arizona, there are, well, we've had a few say, I mean, there's a lot on the market. You're not saying anything. Say something concrete, right? So on Tuesday, I'm going to talk about how to set up those searches, how you can narrow them down and save them for yourself to be able to continually watch them and be on top of your market. And again, to your sphere, you can then go out and say, hey, just want you to know, Scottsdale Country Club, this is what's happening for Mark that, you know, focuses on that area. He's able to share that specific content over and over and over again because he can speak to what he already knows. And when you're brand new, I get it, right? It's uncomfortable because you don't know, you're not sure what to talk about because you don't know. But if you start watching it and going in and out of those properties, if you go in and out of 4 or 5 homes in that neighborhood and you're like, it's funny, 3 of them are sitting and 2 of them sold immediately. Well, why? What can you talk to your sellers about? You know what? I just went into 5 homes and yeah, 3 of them are sitting and I know why. Let me tell you what people are steering away from, right? Exactly. Okay. So, yeah, don't look at that. The 20th, that's what I'm going to talk about. okay? So how many of you have been to this site, have seen this on the Rock University site? When you first go in and log in and you click training or presentations, you will see our Realty One Group orientation, part 1 and part 2. Those are live, but we also have recordings of those. And we give those to you every single newsletter on Sundays. I give you how to get to those trainings. Then we've got these other ones. This is where you can log in and register for these classes. Okay. You know what? I've just brought you how many things from Epic, from Rock. These are our partners because Kuba owns all of Rock and part of Epic. We provided you a specific newsletter just this week about Partnered for Success and talked about 5 of the reasons we rock from Rock Title. Thank you folks so much. They provide us with a lot of content. They provide you with tools and resources for your social media. They provide you with the latest education. They provide you with title estimates. If you've used the new tool, there's an app out there. I really would encourage you to be opening a file there if you've not. How many of you have had a Rock Title file in the last 3 months? Okay, that is not a lot of hands. How many of you have used Rock Title tools in the last 3 months? Nothing? You haven't used any of these? Have you attended any of the classes? No? No? I'm the whole row? No? Okay. Well, folks, if you're not using these tools, I highly encourage you to do that because there's a lot there. What really surprised me and kind of has me kind of shocked, this last month, I get a report of how many files go to Rock. This is the first month since I've been manager here that we had 0 listings with Rock Title. And what I mean by that is that's free money for your clients. Your clients save 50% of their escrow fee, which can be from $150 to $700, depending on how high the price is, right? So you're walking away from free money. I had a guy argue with me several months ago on a file. Well, we're not going to change. I'm like, that's fine. And then they were arguing over a couple $100. I'm like, hold on a minute. You're arguing over a couple $100. I'm trying to save your client and mine $400 each by the title company, and you want to argue over $200? What's wrong with this picture? Who are you really serving? And I said that to them. Guess what? The file went to Rock. Because when you're looking at your client, who are you helping here? Right? We give you 50% off for your sellers. So we're going to go and talk a little bit about Mike. You can come up here in just a second. I think this shifted, but I'm going to make you guys a deal. Every Rock Title opening that we have in the month of May with Realty One Group, whether it's a listing, well, it's got to go actually open. You'll go into a drawing. At the end of May, we'll draw, and whoever gets pulled out of that drawing will win $50 from me. This is from me, not Realty One Group. This is out of my pocket. Same thing with Epic. Anyone that opens a new file to run a credit report and get started, they don't actually have to be under contract, but actually goes to Barb or Mike and opens a new thing in the month of May, I will draw a name out of that hat. So anybody want to win $50? There you got your opportunity. Okay. I'm going to give away $100 at the end of May. And these fine folks will give me that list. I think right now you said we had a couple of files, so we'll add those people to them. So thank you for whoever did that already, as long as they're in this office. So, all right. So Mike, actually, why don't you come up real quick? I'll go back to that.
Well, that's exciting. Thanks
You like that?
for incentivizing people to use me. I kind of feel uncomfortable with that a little bit. So I don't know. Anyway, most everybody here knows me. My name is Mike Tizano with Epic. What I wanted to bring to you guys today, in case you were not aware, Home in 5 released another $75 million on their platinum programs. So what I like about this is down payment assistance is kind of a big deal for a lot of buyers, especially those first time home buyers, maybe not for too many people that work in this office because we're in PV Scottsdale. But it is an FHA program and it's a below market interest rate. So not only do they get 4% in assistance, they're getting an interest rate right now, it's set at 6.09%. I actually put 2 under contract on that this week. Both of them are getting in with 0 out of pocket. Both of these people were on the fence. They weren't sure if they were gonna buy. This program came out on Friday. I called them over the weekend. They both went under contract over the weekend. They went out and looked. So, go ahead.
How much did they have to ask the sellers for?
2.5% to 3% depending on the price to get 0. And then I have another client that is actually got an offer out right now. They were gonna come in with their own money. The Platinum Home in 5 is actually a better option for them because now they can keep their own money and have a lower payment. This money will run out soon. I did the math. It's probably enough for about 5,200 people. 5,200 people is not a lot. It will probably run out at the end of June. So if you've got some people in your database that maybe don't know about this, that have been sitting on the fence, the down payment has been the issue. They need a 640 credit score. That every buyer and their spouse has to be a first-time buyer. Okay, that's a must. And the income limits are different depending on the family size and the area of the house. So lowest income limit's about 112,000, so it's fairly generous. So definitely, if you're looking to drum up some business and you have those buyers in your database, get on the phone and call them. If you want me to get on the phone and call them, I'm happy to do that for you. It is and isn't. It just kind of depends on how people want to sell it. You get a 4% grant, right? Your down payment's 3.5%, but there's additional fees to the program. So effectively, it's not. So your closing costs on a normal house might be like normally on the house might be 7,000. They're going to be more like 10,000 on this because of the program fees. That's why you need the additional 3%, 2.5%, 3% to get it closed.
They salary 3 years?
7. It's a 7-year forgivable. But it's fully forgiven after 7 years. But if the rates drop low enough, the house's values are gonna go up. Most of the down payment assistance that was available up at that point were either repayable or 30-year forgiven. So this is still better.
So 7 years, if they want to sell their house before that, they have to do that.
That gets added to the payoff. Yep.
That be owner occupied for 7 years?
It has to be owner occupied for 7 years, technically. If you read the fine print, yes. But if they live in it for 2 years, probably be okay. Yeah, I didn't say that out loud,
It
but
just got reported on that, so that's kind of fun, edit that out.
yeah, we might need to edit that. No, it's fine. Yeah, so I've had people that have lived in it for 3 years, rented it, they've never called. So. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta be, I wouldn't like sell it as, hey, buy a house and flip it to a rental. I wouldn't sell it as that way at all. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about just was the class coming up on Monday. You might wonder, like, who the hell am I to be teaching that? I'm a person that, as a lender, doesn't necessarily rely too much on real estate agent referrals. I love them, but I don't absolutely rely on them. It's not the basis of my business. Working my sphere is. I've had a lot of success with it. I've made a lot of mistakes with it, and I've corrected those mistakes. And so even if you're really good at working your sphere, you're going to come out with some things you probably didn't think about. And so that's what we want to help with. Like I said, I love that Melissa's incentivizing you to work with me, but I actually want to earn the right to work with you. I don't feel entitled to it just because Kuba owns the company. So that's all I have to say about that. And the last thing I'll say is I've worked with Roberta for years. So if you're going to be incentivized to work with Rock and you get Roberta and Art, that's all I got.
That's great.
And you know what? Look, I'm trying to do this I'm to give you the opportunity to get the business and to give them a try, because if you haven't, it's definitely worth the ask. And by the way, I've worked with both Melinda and Roberta for 15 years. So they through a variety of things. So we've got the all-in-one. If you've got somebody that's got some money, gosh, this is an incredible opportunity. Oh, he's going to come up and I've talked to a couple of people about this.
Yeah, sorry. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with the all-in-one loan, it's my favorite loan product out there. It's not for everybody, but if they're people that cash flow positively, it's an incredible loan. I have one closing this week where The guy, and we did a very conservative estimate, he's gonna have his loan paid off in 12 years, not changing anything that he does financially. So it's just really a very powerful tool. It offers your clients a ton of flexibility. They get access to their mortgage payments. So all the mortgage payments you've made over the years, you can actually have access to it without having to refinance, which actually hurts me, but that's okay.
But wouldn't you really need to do a separate account for that only? So that that mortgage comes out and you don't have to worry about anything else?
Depends on how you operate your finances. So,
Most of anybody I've talked to said they wouldn't even think of it unless it was able to be that. Mortgage thing for that account only.
yeah, you can do it that way if you want as well. I mean, that's the guy that I'm closing this month with it. That's how he's setting it up. So he's putting his mortgage payment and then a little bit of extra savings every month in there. Because you get the access to it and he's fine. He doesn't want to run all his funds through there and that's fine. The guy I closed last month with it, he's gonna run all his money through this account. He's keeping his Wells Fargo's accounts open. And he'll move money into Wells as he needs to, but the way this works is the more money you put into that account and the longer you leave it there, the more it works for you. So it's their choice. So his idea was, I'm gonna put $3,000 a month into this account and just leave it alone. And my mortgage is gonna be paid off in 12 years. But if I need to change my AC, if I need to replace my AC or my roof, I can just yank the money out right there.
And if you're doing rental and it is valid for rental properties, right? You get income, you get your rental income and you maybe you're cash positive, you leave that sitting in there. Again, it's just working for you. So you're able to allow that money to be there and save on that interest year over year over year. I mean, think about it. If you took a 30-year mortgage and you were paying it off in 12 years, you all know what that interest savings looks like. That's massive. But again, it's only for the right clientele, but it is an option and something that I highly encourage having them sit down and run the numbers. Because there's no, look, I love numbers myself, but trying to explain them to my clients, that is not my forte. That's where let them talk to the lender, let them hear about it from them, let them run, there's calculators that run all of that, so.
Right, and we just try to be real conservative with it to give them like a worst case scenario, so they're not blindsided, so you said it was gonna pay off in 9 years, and here I'm at year 10, So, but yeah, but thank you for that.
Okay, so today our home warranty folks are not here today, but it is talking about I love their new thing with the little the ears there. So they are in every time zone ready to help your clients. This is the Old Republic Home Protection. And just so you know, my air conditioning went out last night and no, I do not have a home warranty. So it is that time of year, folks. So if you are not talking to your clients about that, how many of you know what the cost of Freon is right now? Does anybody have a guess what per pound it is today for R22? How much? I think it's closer to $300 a pound. So if you've got a property with an older air conditioner, you're taking the listing, highly worth talking to one of our home warranty companies about the AC coverage on the listing, because some of those coverages only give you $10 per pound. That means they're still paying $290 a pound. And if it's 15 pounds, I can tell you that most air conditioning units are going to cost more than it's going to cost to refill just that issue to refill the Freon, right? Think about it, $3,000, $3,500. That's more than half of a small unit, right? If it's a small unit, you're talking a minimum of $5,000. You're talking a 3-ton unit, it's at least $5,000 for those units. So please keep that in mind. Kim is one of our home warranty specialists. She was not able to be with us today, but she will be back in 2 months. And Roberta and Art, we are ready to wrap this up. Come on, folks. So sorry. Uh-oh.
I suppose.
Right, we amend.
You can fit in.
Huh?
You can fit in.
All right, I have a gift for you guys. For the first person that can tell me what FERPTA stands for.
The
Foreign
foreign investor, I know what.
investment.
What exactly?
I don't know the last one.
FIRPTA, FIRPTA, what's the stand for?
Melissa?
Oh.
Sometimes pain in the ass.
Foreign
Always paying the.
investor,
Real estate.
Okay, what do you guys think about that? Let's go to my question then. This is a two.
Property taxes.
Two. Who is subject to FIRPTA?
the buyer.
Foreign investors.
The
buyer
seller. The seller has to cover.
Ding, 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 feller.
All right.
If the seller doesn't pay for it, then what happens?
Then it's on.
Oh, it's on the
You
buyer.
guys, this is brand new swag, so you have to share. You need to share what's in your bag, because this is brand new. You just got a brand new swag, and I just absolutely love it.
And we're bringing up FERPTA today because with all the Canadian selling, we're seeing more and more.
Isn't that awesome?
More and more FERPTA transactions.
Did you tell them what else you still for?
She got it. Well, she got it. Yeah. Say it.
Say what it is,
Okay.
again, please.
Just to confirm, it's foreign investment real property tax act. And basically what it's for is when a foreigner is selling property, the government's gotta get their fair share of their taxes, so they're subject to FIRPTA. And we only hold 10 to 15% of the sales price, and we will send it to the IRS, and then they've got a complete form to send them back to it, and then the IRS will decide how much of that they're gonna keep and how much they're gonna refund to the seller. If
And-
not,
and
IRS
if-
keeps all of it.
And if your seller is asking, we do pay it to IRS. We have a certain time frame that we have to submit it. So it's not that we can hold it until they file taxes. We have to give it to the IRS.
If it's over $300,000.
Less, 3 or less.
And-
Have to be primary.
Right.
occupant and under
For?
3,000 to not have to pay.
How long do they have to occupy?
At least a year.
At least 50% over 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
So it can be a second home as long as they're gonna occupy it that time frame. But how many homes anymore are under 300,000?
Right. I literally just sold a $300,000 FIRPTA.
Right at 300?
I've seen them right
And
at
I
300.
think that's my favorite. price.
That reason, right?
Right at 300.
Yeah.
Now, how many of you have talked to your sellers that they have to give their social security or the buyers that they have to give their buyers have to give their social security number up. And if you need to tell them that beforehand, so that they don't panic because it's on their taxes, so of course they have to put their social number.
And it is the buyer's responsibility. It's not escrow's responsibility to make sure it's done. It's the buyer's responsibility. We facilitate it, but they have to make sure it gets done.
It's not our responsibility,
We facilitate.
we're
If
responsible.
it's a buyer and a foreign seller, the
Don't need
percentage.
a seller, don't need a seller.
No, but if it's a
But-
foreign
No,
buyer,
I-
how are they filing their their
A foreign
taxes?
seller?
No,
Buyer.
foreign buyer,
Together,
They're both foreign.
both
Yeah, it
foreigners.
doesn't
I
affect the
don't think it
buyer, only affect the seller.
Yeah,
Then-
but
then-
the buyer has
but
to
it's a
file
higher
the
percentage,
taxes.
right?
No, they
Seller.
have, the seller files, the buyer has to disclose their social security numbers, but that's all the buyer has to do, the seller has to file everything else. Because
So
then,
if it's a buyer, then they would need an ITIN.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, then
She's saying
the
it's-
percentage is higher that you have to take out or no?
you 10 or 15%.
So it's 10% under $1 million owner occupied.
Mhm.
If it's under $1 million non-owner occupied or over $1 million, it's 15% of the sales price, not of the proceeds. So if you have a seller that has a tight profit margin, they need to make sure they're getting that 10% to pay
They
to
might
IRS.
have to come in with money to close.
Isn't there a
Some-
form that they could fill out before closing? That would alleviate you withholding the whole.
Yes, they would need to be, I found it best if they're working with an international tax accountant.
Right.
That person will do all the filings, all the paperwork, make sure it's done properly, and if they have all that in order at closing, then they may not have to be.
How long does that paperwork normally take? If you have an accountant that's jumping on?
We were just talking about this morning. We don't do enough of them to see them on a regular basis, but they are getting more prevalent. I've seen them take a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
A lot of times we have the seller either doesn't realize they're subject to it, or they think they're gonna sneak around it. So they don't do anything. So,
That does not work that way.
so, and it doesn't
Avoidance
work that way.
does not
So,
work.
so when they file their paper, we have 20 days.
20 days.
We have 20 days from closing that we have to have it postmarked to the IRS. 20 days. So if he doesn't get his paperwork done in 20 days, we're gonna send the money, it's gonna be him and the IRS.
And we're penalized by IRS if we don't send that
We
money.
don't send it. Yeah. And we can't pass that on to the seller. We have to pay that thing. Yeah.
So you better use your professionals to help you out, cause it sounds like a lot.
That handles these kind of transactions, so if you ever come to that situation, whether the transaction with us or not, I'd be more willing to help them to give the information to be able to help you with your client. To make it easier for that, they do them all the time, but, yeah.
All right, that's why you guys went first today. And plus I was so excited about the swag. She's still looking at it. Look at her. She's just loving that thing.
It's not,
No, yeah,
Metric.
and
It's metric.
yeah, it's an
Not on feet on one side, metric on the other side.
But it is green. No, it's in.
Had nothing to do with it. I was not consulted.
All right, now we're gonna go back to our Popeyes for the month. Did anybody even do the Mother's Popeye or try the mask? Because it's fabulous. And of course I did. And all my family members and everything, you can get the,
The video, whoever tried it.
oh, okay, that one is for, Memorial Day is coming up.
Everybody doing it.
And I got that at Target, and you just basically put it around your ankle and you skip around and the strawberry lights up. It's really fun. It's nice. You can put something, but what it says is, with the freedom to choose any realtor, I'd be honored to serve you. Send one of these out to somebody today, attach something to it. It doesn't have to be that. I think that was like $4 at Target. But it's a beautiful gift. It's a great time to do it. You have plenty of time. I also have this other beautiful door jammer that says, helping you find your perfect home in the land of the free. And you can even get those little flags. You can get pins. I get very emotional about this stuff. I really like it. And I just think that when you do something small like that for people, it's not a big deal, but it is very heartwarming and heartfelt. So use it in your business. I don't know, they'll just like you because you're kind. Really. Okay, so talking about being kind, this is my last subject today, but broker open houses, how many of you have done them? Okay, what's the most important thing in a broker open house, do you think? Attendance? Well, I was gonna say, food and wine are very important because that will help bring, but it is about attendance, it is. And if you do a broker open house, which I've done lots of them, and you go to a lot of work for entertainment, food, wine, you name it. You go through making sure the house is perfect, all the kinds of things, but it's really about attendance and activity. And we need to help each other in this business. And I know a lot of organizations, when they do a broker open house, everybody is there. We're all there because we need to share, we need to build excitement. And Stacy's kind of in a pickle right now because these people really want to sell their house. And if they don't, and they had $100,000 price adjustment and still nothing. It's a beautiful home, beautiful view. So we kind of got creative, and we're going to do this broker open house, but we're also going to do it as an open house and a hybrid. We are sending out another piece telling them that they can invite someone or bring a buyer with them, and you can do that as well. But you know what, you guys, and it's kind of far, it's Fountain Hills for some of us, but I'm telling you right now, it is important to show and to support each other and bring that excitement and talk to your buyers. And, you know, this might be a deal for you. So I just wanted to put this out there and let you know that I just did a 5-home broker open house not too long ago. And I'm telling you, we put in a lot of time and effort, and the attendance wasn't there, but 3 out of those homes have now sold. and we've got 2 more left to sell. So we just have to help each other. Just pass out the word, be attentive, even if you show up for 5 or 10 minutes, we would love you to be there
Glass of wine.
and have, yeah. And it's gonna be when the sun's going down, so it's beautiful there, you guys. It's just gorgeous. So you know what? Just put on your smile and come join us. We'd love to have you there, and that's all I have to say. But I do want to I want to tell all of you that I appreciate you so much, and I've done business with many of you through the years. Maybe not now, but I have. But I do really appreciate you, and I appreciate the fact that you are trying to, entice them. But I would like you to do business with us because we do a good job and because we care about you. We want to help you, and vice versa. That's what we're here for. So together we can all make it happen. It's been a great year so far for us. So I want it to be a great year for everybody. So just keep pushing ahead and letting us do everything we can to support you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and lastly, I think we have our broker summit. For those that are not aware, we are in Miami in November. I will be going. They are offering you the opportunity to pay the cost for that on a payment plan, if that's of concern to you. But I hope some of you will come. It's going to be an amazing event. It was brought to my attention. Did any of you know about this? Anybody see this? I guess I should do that on there. The official Community Choice Awards. I have no idea where this came from, but this office, thank you for whoever voted. We are #1 in the East Valley for real estate offices. I was totally unaware of it. But thank you, whoever put that together and set that up. So I appreciate your participating in that. I'm going to go offline unless there's somebody online that really wants to talk about buyers and seller options, but you guys can let me know if there's stuff here. Unless people online still want to hear that, here, I'll do this. I'll stop recording is what I'll do. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Where's my recording? So anybody have anything that they want to share for listings coming soon?